Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and at the request of Patreon subscriber and resident BoshNRoll Discord lands expert Lauren, I am playing, of course, lands. This is a deck that has existed in various forms, basically since the printing of Life from the Loam. I think that's what really made this deck possible, and that was a long time ago at this point, nearly 20 years. The deck has taken many forms and many versions as metagames shifted over all that time it's been around. The first memory I have of lands is it being this ultra grindy prison control deck that, when it was ready to win the game, it locked you out with Mindslaver and Academy Ruins. And in order to win a game with Mindslaver and Academy Ruins, your opponent really has to be unable to do anything about it. That's a 13 mana loop that requires resolving a 6-drop. Kind of a mess. But the deck was good, believe it or not, at the time. The printing of Thespian Stage and Dark Depths really sped that up. They figured out the red-green gamble package. Then the deck became very fast for a while, or capable of being fast, but it's always had the Wasteland Lock, Life from the Loam, Exploration option available. More recently, we've gotten Urza Saga, which completely changed how the deck is built and how it functions. Totally viable plan, also overlaps with Thespian Stage, a card that you're playing for Dark Depths anyway. Grinding out control decks with Urza Saga became pretty trivial. And now the deck has moved a click even more controlling and miserable by playing 4 main deck Sphere of Resistance. 2 mana artifact from Exodus, spells cost 1 more to cast. Yuck. This is a card that has ruined my life many times over the years. It's not the type of card I usually put in decks, because I'm usually the one trying to cast Brainstorm, and that card's a lot worse when it costs 2. And this prison build of lands just 4x in the main. They've got Ancient Tomb that can cast it on turn 1. Mox Diamond with any other land can cast it on turn 1. Prop Rotation for Ancient Tomb can cast it on turn 1. There are 10 ways to turn 1 this thing in the deck. Pretty messed up, honestly. And the longer this card's in play, the bigger problem it has, because each turn it's taxing each spell by 1, etc., etc. And a lot of decks really can't function with this card in play. And then add on top of that, we're still a Wasteland deck. We're still a Rashadan Port deck. Wait, there's even one Ghost Quarter for decks that have basic lands. It's actually pretty easy to lock out even the types of decks that I like that have 6 or 7 basics. It becomes really easy to lock them out with Ghost Quarter, especially if you get Crucible of Worlds and Exploration in the mix. And they're under Sphere of Resistance. Yuck, I hate everything about this. I'm excited to be the bad guy today, but this construction of this deck is pretty hateful on combo, pretty hateful on control, and still does all the stuff that lands does. We can still just turn to a 2020. We can still make unlimited constructs with Urza Saga. It's all there. This deck was green-white just recently, and I actually had green-white in my queue from Lauren, but in the 11th hour, she switched it to green-red. She said the removal makes more sense here. We've got Lightning Bolts and Pyroblasts instead of Swords of Plowshares Prismatic Ending. Sure, I'll take her word for it there. And let's go do this thing. This is Sphere of Resistance lands. 3-for-1 Trading is one of Europe's leading Magic the Gathering retailers. Their online shop has a fantastic selection of high-end Magic cards, especially for vintage, legacy, and old-school players. They now exclusively offer the BoshNRoll community free, fully insured, and fast worldwide shipping on all their high-end singles, full sets, and out-of-print sealed product. They upload new cards every Wednesday with weekly sale offers and reductions. Use my code BNR0723 to get free worldwide shipping on your first order over 341 euros, approximately $380. Scan the QR code or go to shop.3for1trading.com. I'm on the draw in round 1 against Punishing Waterfalls, who is known for preposterous decks, and Yorion is revealed. Double Exploration is pretty cool. It's not really going anywhere, but crop rotation solves a lot of problems. I'm going to keep this hand. In the dark, I'll keep most hands that accelerate in any kind of way, whether it's Mox Diamond or Exploration. Zenith for 0. Okay, so we've got a Zenith pile over there. Tabernacle's pretty annoying for an opponent who just Zenith for Dryad Arbor. Exploration, I'm going to start there. Then I'm going to Taiga and Exploration again. Might as well. This Tabernacle, or this Crucible draw really just made things awesome for me. Oh, I should crop rotate for Wasteland, I think. I'll let them pay for their spell first. Or pay for their Arbor, or not pay for their Arbor. I mean, I guess you just tap it. Letting it die is the same as tapping it to deal with itself. My opponent said this is way too much of a real deck for me to be playing, and I said there's no brainstorm in it, fake deck. Okay, I think I'm just going to crop rotate for Wasteland here, and be pretty stoked if this works. Oh yeah, we're in there. Wasteland, and then Urza's Saga can play Crucible next turn, and then they're just dead. Oh, Thespian Stage is in your deck too. That's cheating. I've got something like that too. Alright, let's see if they suddenly came up with a force or if they're just dead. Oh yeah, the turn 2 win. That was yucky. Okay, Crucible World's busted. Okay, my opponent did reveal Thespian Stage in their Green Sun Zenith Theorian deck before dying. That's really curious. I have two options before me, which is sideboard normal, like I don't know anything, or Google Punishing Waterfalls and see specifically what the insanity that they're recently brewing with is. And in a Legacy Challenge or Eternal Weekend, online Eternal Weekend, of course, you can't do this IRL, I would Google and see if I could get anything out, but I'm just gonna enjoy the brew, and I'm gonna bring in Sylvan Library and Wrenn and Realm Breaker. I suspect Shadow Spear will not be that important here. I'm just gonna grind like it's some blue deck. Shadow Spear, medium, and Tabernacle was really good. Maybe I don't need Bajuka Bog, but they showed me Thespian Stage. This might be a Loam strategy. Maybe I don't need 2 Maze of it. Okay. I'll try it like this and see what happens. Because if you prison them out, you don't need Maze of it, but you might need Maze of it to stabilize to prison them out. I am not a lands expert. Just saying. The opponent boarded up to 81, unless they already had 81. I guess I wasn't really paying attention that closely. I'm going to keep this Sphere of Resistance hand. That card's very good. Zenith for 0 again. It's not fair that my opponent ramps also. Okay. I think I want to make sure the Mox Diamond resolves before I play Urza Saga, but I do want to play Urza Saga. Oh yeah, that's just in. Opponent very clearly F6'd over there. I'm going to discard Yavimaya to this, because my hand makes plenty of colored mana, and I don't want to accidentally turn on anything that they're up to. Okay. Sphere of Resistance. Fun Police have arrived. Living Wish, oh no. For Lotus Field, okay. That's pretty good. What can I do about it? I can crop rotate for a Wasteland. I could copy Urza Saga with Thespian Stage now. Unfortunately, Dryad Arbor is also a land. I can't, like, in response to Lotus Field's trigger, crop rotate waste and make them sack the Lotus Field, because Dryad Arbor specifically solves that problem. What does crop rotation do here? Very little, it seems. Or crop rotation gets me Dark Depths. Do I want to just go fast here? I think I'm going to play the Thespian Stage and pass the turn. As specifically Dryad Arbor in this spot is doing a lot of work. Even if that was Llanowar Elves, it would be fine. But now, oh no, this has hexproof. I can't copy there. Lotus Field, that would be too sick. That explains their Thespian Stage too. I have seen this thing on Twitter actually, now that the pieces are coming together. This does have some infinite, or at least arbitrary, game-winning loops in it. Uses like Spellseeker to do something. I don't know exactly how it works, I'm not gonna lie, but I've definitely seen it kicking around. I may have even retweeted it because it's awesome. Sylvan Scrying, okay. They're spending some time doing this, getting a second Lotus Field, or are we shutting down, or do we need to emergency Wasteland right now to stabilize? What's the plan here? They do still have a land drop. Caracas, okay. That makes it much easier to not go for Dark Depths. Now the question is, do I want to copy Urza Saga and start the train of bonus Saga forever? Or do I want to try to get this game won in some other fashion? I think I do want to copy the Saga. So I can make this copy here. Then on my turn, oh, Crucible's really interesting. Okay, I'm going to let Thespian Stage learn how to tap for 1. And then I can crop rotate the Saga in response to the trigger. My own Sphere kind of stepping on me here. I could also just let this die, play Crucible. I think I like the value of just this free land way too much. Maybe that's wrong, but I'm excited about it. Wasteland doesn't help here. Bajuka Bog doesn't help as far as I can tell. I could get Dark Depths. Yeah, because I'm about to tutor Pithing Needle. Alright. I can Needle Caracas. Or I can let this other Urza Saga run its course. Wow, lands is hard. Getting Mox Diamond lets me play Crucible. Or no, it doesn't. I'm still 1 short. Okay. I'm gonna get Pithing Needle and name Caracas. And then I'll play my basic Forest and threaten a 2020 next turn. Good chance I bungled that sequencing somehow, but it feels like we're working towards some sort of plan. 5 in the pool. Oh no. Balancing act. Each player chooses a number of permanents they control equal number of permanents controlled by the player who controls the fewest, then sacrifices the rest. Each player discards cards the same way. Okay, so they're going to lose a card, and I'm going to lose 3 permanents. Fascinating. Okay. Choose 3 permanents you control. Definitely the Saga. Definitely the Forest. And don't really want to lose Sphere. I can rebuy my lands with Crucible moving forward, but I'm not going to be able to cast Crucible if I keep Sphere. Maybe I just keep Mox Diamond. The Sphere seems like the only thing keeping me remotely alive. I think I'm going to need the Crucible here. I have my next 2 land drops lined up, and I can tutor another Mox Diamond, but now they're up ahead of me with Lotus Field. Alright, fine. Okay, I'll just keep my mana sources. Boring. Cool stuff, though. Balancing act. Got me good. Discarded Grist. Kind of scary that Grist is the worst card in their hand, because generally, I believe that card to be pretty good. I'm gonna play this Wooded Foothills. There are Taigas in my deck. Just gonna fetch now, because it doesn't matter. And I don't want to get got by any tricks. Even Mind Sensor. Anything's possible. Lotus Field's in play. The One Ring. Yeah, that card's real good. Now you have Thespian Stage. Hate that for me. Prismatic Ending. Gonna make a construct here. I can tutor up another one of those. That's not a big deal. Okay, so we go to my turn. Wasteland. Not sorry to see that. Copy basic Forest with Thespian Stage in response to the sack trigger. Get another Mox Diamond here. Do I even want that? Does that matter? Or is Soul Guide Lantern randomly helpful? I don't know. I'm concerned. I'm gonna lose to this One Ring very quickly. I guess I'll get Mox Diamond, discard Rashadan Port, and then I'm gonna Wasteland the Thespian Stage. Before that can become anything more busted. Okay. I have concerns. We're going to lose very quickly. One Ring, completely messed up magic card. Hidden Strings, oh no, they're comboing off. You can untap your One Ring with Hidden Strings. Okay, I get it. I understand the deck now. I doubt we're going to get another turn. Now they have 2 Lotus Fields, 6 cards in hand. Let's go. Excited about it. Oh, Wishing for Yorion's kind of a lackluster end to that. Okay. I can 1, 2, 3 Crucible. That's not very good, though. I don't think wasting them matters. I don't think Dark Depths is going to win this game. Is the best thing I can do just put damage on the board? Okay, Urza's Saga. Make a Construct. Stack for 3. And the One Ring frees them in their upkeep, but I can't imagine they're going to whiff with 12 cards in hand from here. Another Living Wish. Okay. If there was any possibility of whiffing, it's no longer possible. Spellseeker. Okay, we're going to see the loop here. I would like to see the loop, because I don't really remember what it is. I assume Spellseeker gets Snap first, and then you just seek spells, untap your stuff, and go nutty. Yep, there's a Snap. Okay. Pyroblast, a card not currently in my deck, would have applications here. So does Lightning Bolt. Spellseeker's back. Another Snap. Now we're floating black and red. What's that going to do? Oh, just blue-red now. Spellseeker. Another Snap. Okay, these are a bunch of rituals. It's also building Storm. Oh, is this genuinely a Tendrils deck? I guess it could be. Yeah, you just tutor for Burning Wish at the end of this line. Another Snap. Black and red in the pool. Those are the colors that cast Burning Wish and Tendrils. If that's what's happening. Okay, cool. Yeah, sick. Dope line. The One Ring. What a card. Okay, so they are kind of a Storm deck. And they're kind of not a creature deck. I'm going to cut my other Mazavith. I want some Pyroblasts in here. That counters Hidden Strings and Spellseeker. Ren and Realmbreaker. This is not what I thought was going on over there. They're much more of a combo deck. Does Force of Vigor help me at all? I'm not convinced. Oh wait, this turn off Hexproof? Yeah, okay. Shadow Spear is actually deeply essential to the plan. Soul Guide Lantern seems like it's not that important. Or wait, is that better than cutting Bajuka Bog? Just a tutorable thing that can cantrip versus a land that can be crop rotated for or discarded to Mox Diamond. That's pretty close. I think I'd rather have Lantern than Bog. There's still 31 lands in the deck. That's a lot of those. So it is really important to turn on Mox Diamond. Okay, Shadow Spear turning on Wasteland is just hilariously GG if we can maneuver that situation out. What does this hand do? It plays Exploration and Rashadenport. And then it Wastelands my opponent a few times and then hopes that's good enough. And I'll keep it. This wastes a lot of time. And I love wasting time. I'm just going to play Mox Diamond. Discard Ancient Tomb. I will Exploration here. I consider not playing the Exploration, just run out the Rashadenport. But this is pretty cool. Alright, Hateful Mana. You know, you see the Rashadenport, you see the Wasteland. I think Pithing Needle in the Blind names the One Ring. Okay, Zenith for 0. I don't need to Wasteland now. I can port now, though. Got him. Okay. Wasteland. Tropical Island. Wasteland the Dryad Arbor? Or do I take this opportunity to play? No, I'm just going to Wasteland. And I don't need to Needle yet. Alright, I need something now. I need a Loam, a Crucible, something to get this going. Alright. I should have tapped in the end step, and if I lose now because they have crop rotation or some mana tithe or some BS, I am awful. Okay. Or we just scoop to Loam. I'm glad that I won the match. I'm also glad that they got to pop off one game. This was the best possible outcome for me and the content on this channel. Punishing Waterfalls, keep up the good work. Your decks are awesome.
You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7 Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7 Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7 Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better.
I'm on the draw in round 2. My hand is great. I'm going to keep it. I have Exploration, Wasteland, and the means to loop the Wasteland. I'll keep basically any hand that does that against an unknown opponent. Island. That's not fair. Careful study. We're dead. That's not true. If this is Dredge, we might be in some trouble if I don't find specific answer quickly, but okay, Dredge confirmed. Wasteland not good here. Let's see how dead I am. Oh, I drew Crop Rotation. Easy game. Okay. I'm just gonna play... Oh, this is tough because the Seiju is my only green source, and I expect my opponent will know how to play around Crop Rotation. Like, I can Exploration play Saga here and try to buy a turn, or I can hold up Exploration, try not to die this turn. I think I'm gonna do that, or hold up Crop Rotation. And then I'm going to have to find another green source down the road. Icarate in the graveyard. They did not hit a second Dredger. Okay. I can Wasteland the Cephalid Coliseum. It's pretty cool. I would love to draw any green source here. Okay. We're in business. Wooded Foothills. Exploration. Wasteland. Take out the Coliseum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they're not fresh held yet. Flashing back Otherworldly Gaze in response. You got it. Land stacks are historically very good against graveyard strategies because you have the Bajuka Bog, the Crop Rotation, the Caracas, the Tabernacle. There's a lot of tools against what they're trying to do. Icarid can trigger, but it has to eat Cabal Therapy, which is the only thing that Icarid would be doing here. Don't mind that at all. Oh, Brainstorm in your Dredge deck. Good stuff. Underground Sea. Okay. I'm looking forward to destroying that. I'm going to fetch in the end step and hope I don't get BTFO'd somehow. Alright, cool. I didn't. They draw for turn. Sphere of Resistance. Wow. Alright. I think I'd rather Wasteland, though. Urza Saga. Life from the Loam. Who's the Dredge deck now? If I can keep their mana under wraps, then the Sphere is even better next turn. They are currently Brainstorm locked unless they do something like Otherworldly Gaze, sure. And they probably just put their Dredger back on top. Narcomoeba, don't care. They still only have 1 Dredger here. I'm a little worried about Force of Will. They drew for turn, didn't dredge. Fascinating. They're probably going to Cabal Therapy naming Crop Rotation using this Narcomoeba. And then I'll have to rotate in response. Then they'll either counter my spell or they'll have no graveyard. Cabal Therapy targeting me. Crop Rotation. Sacking Boseiju. Get Bajuka Bog. Get this graveyard out of here. Oh, they were targeting themselves? I blew it. Wasn't even paying attention. I might just lose now. I just assumed it was targeting me because that's all that... Wait, what? Hold on. Oh, no. I was looking at the chat log wrong. They were targeting me, and I was targeting them with Bajuka Bog. That's the target I could see. Weird. Okay, nope. Worked out correctly. They missed on Crop Rotation. Do I dredge Loam here? No. Yes? What am I looking for? Yeah, dredging Loam seems great. Alright. I love dredging Loam. Saga goes up. And then land, Sphere of Resistance. This will make whatever their deck is trying to do a lot harder to do. And I can make a construct and tutor Soul Guide Lantern all this turn. Starting to turn the corner and close the door here, I hope. Another Gaze from hand. Narcomoeba. Okay, I'm going to fetch another Taiga. Right meow. Cabal Therapy, Stinkweed Imp. So they found a Dredger. There are still 2 cards in their hand. Wall Therapy costs 1 mana because of Sphere. They dredged Ashen Rider. Now there's a bridge in the graveyard. It's starting to get a little interesting. Right now is the moment where it needs to be interesting or they're in trouble. Okay, they didn't therapy me. They didn't do anything. That means I get to tutor Soul Guide Lantern this turn. I'm just going to keep making constructs too. I got to win this game somehow. And I feel like I'm pretty stable. A Soul Guide Lantern. Pick off the bridge from below. Okay, yeah, they're good. They've seen enough. A lot of main deck graveyard hate and a lot of ways to find it in the land strategy at large. Graveyard hate coming in. Pyroblast looks good against their specific build. Does Realmbreaker have any words that matter here? No. Okay, got it. Things to look for against Dredge are obviously graveyard hate, and then interaction with their enablers, and then ways to kill your own creatures on purpose to clear their bridge from belows. That's how you fight Dredge. And I'm not very good at killing my own creatures, but I do have a ton of graveyard hate, and I have a couple Pyroblasts, so we'll do that. If you Surgical Extraction bridge from belows from their deck, they become a terrible aggro deck, where Shadow Spear becomes very good. I have to decide if I'm going to play to that world or not. Mace of Ith also, I think that's a card I want 1 copy of, but not 2. Just realize I have mismatching Yavimais in this deck. I'm on tilt now. The league is coming off the rails. Hithing Needle can name Cephalid Coliseum. I don't know if that's enough to leave this card in for. I don't think so. They'll probably have their own counter graveyard hate. That's interesting. Should I shave Life from the Loam a little, or is Crucible worse than that? Oh, I really like Crucible. I do have a Boseiju in the deck and an Expedition map to tutor it, so I'm not ice cold even if I don't respect Leyline with a Force of Vigor or something quite so dedicated. Reputation uncuttable. Honestly, Exploration probably fine to go. Right, I'll go down 1 Crucible as well. They showed me a bunch of basic lands. Do you ever shave a Mox Diamond? Probably not on the draw when I'm trying to resolve a Sphere of Resistance. Tabernacle, absolute unit. Wasteland, good. Karak is good. Depths is how I can win quickly. I got 25 seconds to find 1 more card, or else I'm just submitting 61. Alright, I am out of time and can't figure out my last cut. I'm just going to submit 61. Lands is hard. This is a turn 1 Crucible of Worlds that doesn't do anything. I have no graveyard hate of any kind. No. And if I just like start Saga-ing, that could... Alright, I'm going to try this. They're a deck with discard anyway, so if I like mull to 5 to find the perfect card and they take it, it's not a great situation. Urza Saga can find Soul Guide Lantern if I just shove it into play. And I can get Loam going on turn 1. Yeah, okay, here's the Grave Pitching bridge from below. That's what I'm talking about. Like, why chase a perfect 5 when they're just going to mess it up anyway? They'll probably take my Mox Diamond here. That card really sets my hand off. A Grave Pitching bridge is nice, though. That's a bridge I don't have to think about anymore. But there goes my Mox. And, oh, are they going to scam me? What's going on here? Otherworldly Gaze. Okay. They're gazing now to see if they spike a bridge off the top, because then they get a zombie off of Grief Dying. Good sequencing. They did not find that. Force of Will confirmed exists in the deck. Not that I had any doubt, but it's there. Oh, speaking of having no doubt, how about another Mox Diamond? Opponent is rolling their eyes right now, having a bad time, generally. And I'll cast this Life from the Loam. Cool. That was easy. Magic's easy. They have perfect information, though. I'm just going to F6 and see what they want to do. They're exiling Grief for Icarid. This card is around. There are still no dredgers in the graveyard. I imagine they have some sort of plan to change that. They did keep the hand after all. Flashback Otherworldly Gaze. 2 Narcos. Strong. Narco. Still no dredgers. No second black card for Icarid. No bridge from below. No threshold. This isn't exactly going great for them. I am going to dredge Loam and just hope I don't mill my Soul Guide Lantern. Stage. Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't click the wrong land. I have this Mox Diamond in play, and for some reason my brain registered as Exploration. Good thing that doesn't change my line, and I'm still good to go here. Okay, I'm taking Narcomoeba Beats. Losing the Shadow Spear kind of sucks because they did describe in sideboarding that when Dredge isn't functioning, they're a really awful aggro deck, where Shadow Spear would be great. Careful Study, okay. Careful now. But they know I can tutor Soul Guide Lantern coming up shortly here. And then they're going to have to beat my pair of constructs with whatever they've left. Discarded Coliseum and Archimedes. Still no Dredger. They currently have Threshold, but they won't in a moment here. Okay. Starting to make constructs. I will have better creatures than them. And I will have a piece of Graveyard Hate in play. I'm not going to try to copy stage and get clever here. Let's just go nuts and start winning this game. Soul Guide Lantern, target the Icarid. They currently have Threshold. If this resolves, they won't have it anymore. Okay, yep. Now they can't activate their Coliseum and begin the damage attacking. Would this deck have Dress Down in it? And that would be sick if true. Okay, cool. Opponent's down to 1 card in hand, no Dredgers, no Threshold. Loading Soul Guide Lantern in play. They're going to have some sort of big juke to win this game. They would need like Show and Tell putting in Ashen Rider or something. And even that I'm not convinced actually beats me. A Careful Study will give them Threshold. They found a Dredger. Uh-oh. Whatever will I do? Archimedes still getting in there. Respect. They know how they're going to win or lose this game. Macabre. Uh-oh. That's really good for me. And really bad for my opponent. Light from the Loam, target my 3 lands that are there. Is that better than just playing Crucible? I'm not convinced. Plus Crucible is an artifact. Yeah, Crucible's way better. This makes my creatures better and skips the middleman of having to cast Loam. Drop this Saga in. This tells them I don't have crop rotation because I could have played a green source and didn't. But I don't care. They are dead next turn, and I have 2 layers of protection they have to navigate through. Grave Troll, build a bunch of stuff I don't care about. Otherworldly Gaze, Flashback, yep, go for it. Bridge from Below, okay. Okay, so we're in combat now. They currently don't have priority. I currently don't mind that they don't have priority. Okay. The Bridge and the Therapy are in the graveyard. Those are good blocks. Or they make 4 good blocks. Another Saga. I have quite enough of these. I think it's safe to say. Including the one that's coming out of my graveyard. Okay, I think my plan here is to attack with my things. Oh, I didn't have a removal spell, did I? I hope not. Okay. I'm attacking with my things. They have to block both of them. These will trigger Bridge from Below. And I think I'm going to Soul Guide in response. I'm going to definitely interact here. I'm going to go for the Soul Guide. Because that's the one they know about. And if I can get them with the hidden thing, that'll make it harder for them to plan around. It's more likely they just have nothing and never will have anything and we'll just concede right here. But I'd at least like to hide the thing that they haven't seen in the match at all and can't actually interact with, even if they do have Force of Will. Cool. Tasty little win against Dredge. Good matchup for lands, and I'm glad we converted. On to the next one.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round 3 with an Exploration plus Loam situation. I'm going to keep this. The pathways are open here. This hand doesn't do anything specifically well, but I got options. I'm going to fetch my basic forest. Getting wasted off green is how this hand falls apart. Or getting turn zeroed. Or turn one. Those are the two ways this hand falls apart. But I feel mostly okay with what's going on right now. Now, serious thing. I'm not going to play Tabernacle. Getting my second mana source wasted and not getting the first Loam off is tough. But I don't want to just run out Tabernacle either. Prismatic Vista, okay. I think we're pretty well set up against most Prismatic Vista decks. Ooh, Prismatic Ending. Alright, Prismatic Theme deck. Kind of annoying, but I have the Loam. And another Exploration. LOL. That happened, and I think I hold back Exploration here, because Tabernacle doesn't matter. Is that right? In rotating, the Tabernacle matters. Alright, I'll run out the second Exploration and play the Tabernacle, because that's material in play for me to crop rotate away that I won't miss. Okay, go. Don't end my Prism again, please. Got blue and white mana. We've got a Stoneforge Mystic with a Tabernacle in play. Tabernacle does destroy, it's not sacrifice, so Kaldra's indestructibility matters. Wait, no it doesn't. Blue's hexproof and indestructible. Conveniently exactly what I've got going on here. Also my deck contains Maze of Ith, so I can figure this one out. Dredging Loam. Life from Loam, target Urza Saga and Wooded Foothills. See what they want to do here. Force of Will, pitching Force of Will. You got it, homie. Okay. Okay, so they can put in Kaldra, not pay for Stoneforge. Here's Kaldra. Not paying for Stoneforge. I think I just rotate for Maze of Ith here. That just makes this so simple. Dip the Caracas for a Maze, and then get back to Loaming starting next turn. Maze of Ith. Okay, and they're missing land drops. Now they're in trouble. I've been on the other side of this enough times to know how this works. They're going to have to come up with a Force of Negation pretty quickly. Urza Saga, Taiga, Dark Depths to my hand. Urza Saga in play. Taiga in play. I'm going to pass and I'm going to activate Shadow Spear, so they have to pay for the Germ. Bang. Just a little Rishadan Port action. Build your own Rishadan Port. It worked. Brainstorm, okay. Another Plains. I fully expect back to basics out of this deck. Gotta watch out for that. Maze of Ith, of course. Dredging Loam, let's keep the party going. Wasteland, Maze of Ith, Caracas in my graveyard. I will take them all. Leaving Wooded Foothills behind. Caracas and Wasteland's not doing anything, but it is a mana source. Yeah, okay, it is doing something. It's activating Shadow Spear and leaving up Urza Saga as an option. Activating Spear. Paying for it. You have to pay for these constructs too. Kind of annoying. I'd rather just not do that. Okay, they're going to scoop to a Brainstorm lock. I'll take that. I was not about to start committing creatures onto the have to pay for Tabernacle and already bricked by Germ situation. I was probably going to get Expedition Map for Ghost Quarter and just start GQing them until they have nothing. I think that's how I was going to handle that game. Okay. A blue-white deck with at least 3 basic lands, including 2 basic plains, and you play more islands than you play plains by a lot. By seeing the second basic plains, I'm going to read that they're not a deck with 3 or 4 basics, they're a deck with 6 to 8 basics, and I'm going to respect back to basics out of that deck. Bajuka Bog doesn't matter. Maze of Ith was pretty good there. Tabernacle's kind of mid. I mean, it was relevant there, but it's not like gonna flip this game unless they have exactly Monastery Mentor as a card in their deck. I think I'd rather lock them down with Mazes of Ith. So I guess I have to win the game somehow when they have no lands left. And if they just have Stoneforge kicking around, maybe I don't cut that. It's a Ren and Realm Breaker situation. Maybe. I could actually cut a Wasteland even. Soul Guide Lantern I can live without. They might have some Snapcasters, but they're not going to really use their graveyard. And I can shave one Wasteland. They're not going to give me a lot of hits for that. And they're a white deck, which makes Dark Depths a lot worse. You can't just go for a Turbo 2020 because they're just going to plow it. Force of Vigor is additional answers on top of these Pyroblasts for Back to Basics specifically. I could do that instead of Ren. Yeah, maybe that's better. And I should expect Graveyard Hate. At least Surgical. I'm going to cut one of the Loams for another Ren. Or for Ren back in. Alright, I'm going to do it like this. This hand is fine, I guess. I'm not stoked about it, but I'm not upset either. Loaded Strand, you got it. Okay, I can fetch my basic, and I'm representing crop rotation here. Loaded Strand on the crack. Stoneforge Mystic, you got it. I'm holding Mazavith and Pithing Needle. Ultra Complete. Revealed. I think Wasteland, Pithing Needle, Stoneforge Mystic is a reasonable play here. They could go land Prismatic Ending, activate, and just still have Cauldron play, but I have the Maze if they commit all that. If they slam Back to Basics, I'm going to Red Blast it. Then even if they force back, I can hit my next 2 land drops and Beseiju it. I think that's the way to go. Because I have Beseiju, I'm not going to live in fear of Back to Basics, and I am going to Red Blast this card advantage engine. Cool. Exploration, what's up? Very excited to see that card. Get in there. That's a real engine. And then Yavimaya and Rashadan Port win. And I'm going to port their planes. Port your planes. That's tapped. Another land. They could just slam Back to Basics here. I have the Beseiju ready. A Blood Moon would be a lot worse. Oh, yikes. I can rotate my basic out. It's fine. Okay. Crop rotation, sacrificing Wasteland, and get basic Forest. Hope they don't force a will here. Okay, cool. Alright, I can answer that now. Blood Moon resolves. I doubt they have Blood Moon and Back to Basics. Famous last words, I'm sure. Okay, so if I Beseiju now, I can port them, but then they're +1 land, and that's the same as not porting them. Meltdown on the Needle. Okay, this will get Cauldron in here, that's fine. I'm gonna blow up the Blood Moon and Mazavith this thing. Okay. It's getting a little dicey. I like it. Attacking me, Beseiju your moon. Port your planes right now in combat. Don't want any surprise 2-drops happening. And then Maze the Germ. Okay, now I need to get something going. A Crucible, a Wasteland, a Thespian Stage for Dark Depths, you know, hypothetically speaking. And I'm going to port them off red. Ruination, Blood Moon, all these things, no thanks. And I could take 5 to present Merit Lage right now, but I think I'd rather take another draw step and see if I can set up any further engines. Because if I go for this and it doesn't work, I'm in trouble. Thespian Stage will copy Forest. I don't think I need to copy Mountain or Plains. Oh, copying Mountain would leave up Red Blast if I get Back to Basics. Okay, Urza Saga. Real plan. Once again, tapping the Forest. Or the Mountain, which is also a forest, technically. And I'm going to flip Stage into a backup Saga here. Get those both ticking up in unison. End step, Thespian Stage becomes Urza Saga. Sagas tick up. Exploration. I'm going to have to do a mana count real quick. If I Exploration, activate Mazavith, Rashadan Port, activate Saga. Is that right? 1 for exploration, 2 to activate port, activate maze. Yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. We did it. I'm gonna use Yavimai to cast exploration. Then I'll pass the turn. Continue beating up their red. They do have 5 cards in hand and haven't done anything in a long time. I have some concerns about that. Maze of Ith. Doing pretty good keeping up on clock too. I'm only 17 seconds behind them, despite durdling my way around with this deck. End step. Make a construct. And then next turn, Sagas tick up. Expedition map, I just drew that straight up. Okay. Do I want a construct here? I don't think that I do. I think I want to float green and then tutor. Don't have a Mox Diamond. Literally only Shadow Spear works here. And they're surgicaling my Sagas right away. I could rotate for another in response, but I'm about to have Infinity Saga in play. Yeah, I don't even care about that. That's a surgical that's not pointed at my Light from the Loams or good Crucible targets. I have green in the pool. I can use that to cast this Expedition map. This can get Dark Depths and just threaten. Or it can get Ghost Quarter. Pick off this mountain for good, and then I can port something else. I can't get Saga anymore. Those are gone. Oh, Force Negation. A lot of respect for that. I respect the respect. Good call. I'm just going to leave all my mana up for control options here. Just putting Shadow Spear on this card doesn't matter. Narset, tough beats, but there she is. Hope I don't get my day undone. I mean, they would need a fetchable basic in the deck, and there are 8 in play, or 6 in play already. Do you have a 7th basic? It's not out of the realm of possibility. It's just... Okay, I can just take 5 here, and then bash Narset. I think that's what I want to do. I don't have to Maze of Ith. Then end step, make a construct, and then next turn, through Ghost Quarter, busted. Okay. In response to this trigger, Thespian Sage becomes a copy of Forest. I could get Mox Diamond out of the deck, or I could just fail to find. Yeah, I don't think I need a Mox Diamond. It's going to come into play, and I'm not going to discard a land. Just not worried about that here. And then I can Ghost Quarter a Plains. If I Ghost Quarter and equip, I don't need to equip. I can just attack with these 2 things. If I equip, though, yeah, I don't think I need to equip. I'm going to Ghost Quarter a Plains and see what happens. If they don't have white mana going into combat, that changes what I feel like I need to do. They got an island. Okay. I will announce my intention to move into combat. If they use their mana... Okay, cool. All creatures attack Narset, Parter Avails. And then I'm going to port their mountain again. And now Maze of Ith is up. And it looks like they're out of white sources, or they're just hiding their 3rd one under the Prismatic Vista, which does not seem likely. And I'm just a Loam or Crucible away from GG. Let's see if they attack here. Okay, they did. Alright, I am just gonna turtle up behind the maze. There might be a race here where I could just take 6 and then win the game with Shadow Spear, win the race with Shadow Spear. But I'm not in a rush to do that. I can just start making bigger constructs than them. I'm just going to pass here and enjoy my basic forest that shits out constructs. Keep tapping the mountain. Don't forget. The second I forget, I'm going to get Ruination. I can just feel it. I can feel it in my bones. Stoneforge Mystic. Okay. What weapon are we getting? None. Cool. Now Maze of Ith is fully in control. The Stoneforge doesn't even get to chip shot. And they're not even bothering to attack. That's what I want to see. Make a construct. Tick tock. Here we go. Interested in Light from the Loam. Remember when I entombed one of these just to get it out of the deck? Well, not good enough. Continue tapping them out. No attacks. And these attacks aren't because they're just saving time on the Mazavith. It's because attacking is actively awful. Okay, I mean, now I can make Dark Depths if I need to. Or make Merit Lage. Okay, activate Port, hold up Crop Rotation, Mazavith you, activate. Okay, I don't have enough to equip Shadow Spear still. Not that it matters as long as Caldra's in play. Even if I knock Indestructible off of it, that doesn't solve the issue of it has First Strike and all these other abilities that kill my constructs. I just need so many constructs and they need to be so big that my opponent just loses even through Cauldra. Oh shit, I forgot to port. Oh no. I was busy narrating. Remember when I said the second I forget to port, I'm going to lose? I hope that's not true. Yikes. And they cast a Ponder and they shuffled. If they go into combat, I'll port then. But wow, that was suspicious. Snapcaster Mage targeting what? What do we go with here? It's probably just... Oh, right. Yeah, Meltdown. My board is full of constructs. Duh. I boarded up a Jukabog, I think. Yep, sure did. Okay. This kills my Shadow Spear and my constructs. Sure. Played around it by not putting these Mox Diamonds into play. Heckin' genius. Okay, at the start of combat, I'm going to Rishadan port Baracus. And we know their hand has Force of Will in it. Yeah, I'm not just going to go for Merit Lage here, because that will cost me my Construct engine, which I think can still win this game. Construct. Come on, Crucible of Worlds. Sphere of Resistance, interesting. Do I want to Crop Rotate? I know they have Force of Will. Crop Rotate for Tabernacle actually sounds pretty cool, if I can get away with it. Okay, I'm gonna try this and see if it works. Just get rid of my least important land. They are forcing that Pitching Force, okay. Alright, and I can still do almost everything here. I can't port, but they showed me last turn that I'm actually not dead if I forget to port, so I'm just gonna take a turn off and get Sphere down. Brainstorm. In using that Crop Rotation, we knew they had Force of Will, and using it when they had to pitch cast, even through all their mana. Feel okay about that. We're tapping the Prismatic Vista. For green. Some kind of spell. I hate spells. Okay, unless they drew Dress Down, they don't really have attacks here. Yeah, they're just making me maze, that's fine. Ends to make a construct. This is so annoying as the blue deck. How many of these you're going to have to kill in a game? The answer is a million. How many turns are there in the game is the answer of how many you're going to have to kill. Okay, no castable spell here. I'm going to try to monitor my clock while grinding my way out of this. Tap the mountain. Rishadan port's back on the menu. Someday I'll find a Loam or a Crucible, and then we go completely bonkers. Narset, pretty good. Narset found Ponder, a card they cannot cast right now. Make a construct. How about Life from the Loam? How about Crucible of Worlds? They're in my deck somewhere. Please, deck. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'll take a turn off making constructs to get the squeeze deeper here. Tap target land, the mountain. They're doing something old. Upkeep 3 mana Brainstorm. I genuinely would not even mind a Days Undoing here. It would turn the 3 bad cards in my hand into 1 possibly good one. I mean, I'd rather that doesn't happen, but like turning off Loam sucks. I'm more worried about the graveyard hate on a Days Undoing than I am about the moving the hands around. Mazavith, no blocks. You know how this works. And they're using time on their clock to attack too, and it's not like I'm not gonna maze. Like maybe show me some respect over here. Okay. Another Sphere, leaving up maze. I'm not gonna port this turn. Resolving Sphere is just like porting. Except I guess I don't get to take them off a color this way. Maybe I actually port their mountain to make sure I don't get melted down, and then I just chump block with a construct. I don't need to take damage here. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna port using the Mazavith. Oh no, they have end step dress down. Oh, end step Snapcaster, just a creature. Sure. Target Brainstorm that they cannot cast, not even close. And tap target land, tap the mountain. Doing this, I'm dead if they have dress down. Oh no, they're doing something. Oh, hope it's... Ah! Okay, they had it. Alright, fine. I don't know, being worried about meltdown versus dress down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I would be at 1 instead of 0. Yeah. 1 is certainly better than 0. Okay. Yeah, my deck just not delivering a Loam or Crucible at any point in there was really kind of the whole game. And we've now seen Snapcaster Mage. We've seen Blood Moon. We know that it's not... Yeah, Ren does beat Blood Moon because my lands tap for any color. But I would have to get it into play. We've seen their Narset strategy. Okay, do I want Soul Guide Lantern just for Snapcaster? Probably not. Do I want Force of Vigor for Blood Moon? I have both Seiju, Ren, and Realmbreaker, and 1 Force of Vigor already in. I think I still want the Red Blast because their deck is full of good blue cards. We cut a Mox Diamond, and it's kind of a liability versus Meltdown, and I think I lost that game because I drew 3 Mox Diamonds instead of any card that does anything. Surgical... I don't think I want that. That's not how I want to fight Snapcaster, especially if Sphere of Resistance is my plan. Alright, I'm just gonna give Blood Moon a little more respect and go back in here. I would like to play first. I would like to mulligan this hand that cannot produce mana. I'll keep this hand that has its straight path to Urza Saga. I think I'm gonna go Thespian Stage Shadow Spear. If they want a prismatic ending, that's not a big deal. Crucible, oh my goodness. A card that exists and does anything? How could I be so lucky? End step Brainstorm, emergency meeting. Are we jamming Stoneforge here? We are, okay. Culture complete in the hand. Access to basic forest. I think that's more important than my red. Forest in play. Here, if they jam Blood Moon, I can copy forest and at least have 2 of those. That's not Blood Moon. It's just going to be Cauldron. They're coming for me here. Is it more important to get on board here or to make the Infinity Saga situation? I think it's more important to get on board. I have this Crucible that can replace Saga. Oh, Exploration, what's up? That's a good one. Is Saga helping me right now? Is another construct better than a mana right now? Don't think so. Sacrifice this, get Mox Diamond. Oh, this all gets blown out by Meltdown. I wish I was better at lands so I could know what to do here. I could Expedition Map from Mazavith. Maybe that's just the safe, easy thing to do. Expedition Map, and then I'm going to go for Exploration first, see if they want to counter this, and then I'll know what I'm going to do with the rest of my turn based on that. Surgical Link Saga in response, that's fine. Exploration. They've seen my hand now. They know whether or not I care about this, and I do. Okay, first land drop. Activate map. Get Azavith. Second land drop is made. I could bash for 3, gain 3. That's not better than Mazavith. No, I'm not going to attack for 2 because that keeps Stoneforge from attacking. I'm still up on clock, barely. Brainstorm. Uh-oh, red mana. Please don't moon me here. That would be so disappointing. That's not Blood Moon. It's Narset. Who can dig for Blood Moon? Meltdown. That might be worse. I don't know, it's pretty close. Pretty comparable. They still need red to do any of this, which they don't currently have. Oh, speaking of having red, I do not have red right now. I'm going to go for this Crucible of Worlds. Hope it works. It's in there. Okay, I have access to red. That's a land drop. Saga. Play another land drop from my hand. Or, yeah, or no, from here. From the graveyard. And I just want to zap Narset now. I guess running the Crucible, if they have the red source, they just kill Crucible now too. I am playing slightly sloppy because of the clock, and I'm 8 seconds ahead of my opponent right now in a game that could go a million turns. Snapcaster Mage targeting Brainstorm, okay. There's 2 fetchables left in my deck, so this Wooded Foothills isn't going to go too far here. My Sagas are gone, and I didn't copy another one. I'm going to have to win with Dark Depths. And there's the Mountain for Meltdown. They probably want to wait until they can get the Crucible too. That's why they're sequencing it like this. This gives me a window to draw a Rishadan Port or a Ghost Quarter. Gonna fetch a Taiga, just thin out here, see what I can come up with. Exploration. This is good for the last Taiga in the deck. And Yavimaya. Okay, I can activate Shadow Spear, kill Kaldra. That's a 5 mana play. So I can get Exploration in here underneath all of that, which gives me Wooded Foothills, which is a forest right now. And I'm not going to equip... Oh, I should have attacked. Okay, I wonder if I could have gained 4 life by doing this all main phase. Okay, in response, I'm going to make their stuff lose Hexproof and Indestructible. Then Meltdown resolves. I can't stop that. And Force of Vigor, target Kaldra. And only Kaldra. Zap that. Cool, that worked. That's going to take a lot of pressure off. Now I just need to Mazavith Snapcaster Mage. Still 5 seconds ahead of my opponent. Life from the Loam, come on. Ghost Quarter, come on. Rishadan Port. Alright. Alright, port your mountain. And I think Thespian Stage is going to become another Rishadan Port here. Could also become another Mazavith, but I think I'm more interested in Port. Taking them off 2 colors. Mazavith. Target Snapcaster. And I'm just going to copy Port now. It's better to do it in the end step so they don't know what's coming, but I really want to get my priority pass value in this tight clock situation. Another Stoneforge. They didn't have another weapon last game, and they didn't tutor one up now. Baracus, not great. Port your mountain. Port your plains. Freeze your Snapcaster. And maybe that needed to be Mazavith and not Rishadan Port. Your name Nemesis. Yikes. Okay. I need to draw Dark Depths. Oh, there's another Mazavith. Just too late to matter. Yeah, this True Name Nemesis is gonna put me in the ground. And I think they have plenty, 5 minutes, plenty of time to attack 2 times. I think they can figure it out. Yeah, I think if I was less worried about the clock, I could have navigated this match better. Still, the Stoneforge Mystic True Name Nemesis slant of Jeskai is the way to battle lands if you're going to battle lands. Ancient Tomb, perfect. Alright, GG's. That was a long slog that didn't go where I wanted it to. Yeah, game 2, just never finding any of my graveyard engines, despite seeing more than half my deck, is rough. This game 3 situation, the Stoneforge and eventually True Name with Meltdown to stabilize in between, this is the game plan that you need to beat lands with a fair blue deck. And having durable, annoying threats is how you do that as well. GG's, on to the next one.
For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out.
On the play in round 4, I have a hand that poops a million lands into play. I'm going to keep it. Can't quite get the Sphere of Resistance down on turn 1, but it will show up on turn 2 with Extreme Prejudice. Oh wait, I only have 1 green source. Alright. I can't Exploration twice. I can Exploration once. That's fine. That mostly ends up the same because I just identified that we're not really going anywhere quick after that. Opponent mulled to 6. Do I want to get Urza Saga going, or do I want to get Caracas in? I think I'm going to play Caracas and pass here, and then I can get Saga running and play Sphere next turn. A Taiga. Oh no, the Landsmere. Yuck. Okay, my hand sucks now. It was good. Oh, okay, that one's pretty good. Thespian Stage, Urza Saga, and if I play Exploration, I can still activate my cards. Exploration, Mazavith, yeah, just in case. Okay, me floating stage in play and having Caracas means they can't Dark Depths me. I would like to use this turn cycle to get Thespian Stage into a forest, but that doesn't actually do that completely. Shadow Spear. Yeah, this Expedition map kind of a concern. Okay, end step. Thespian Stage become Urza Saga. Boseiju, that's actually sick. Does it do what I need it? Does it do what I need it to? I think it does. Because when they go to copy their Saga, I can BTFO it. Oh, they're just making a construct. That's annoying. Alright, I will Boseiju this. Constructs, kind of whatever, as long as it's not infinity constructs. I can beat one of these with Mazavith. I mean, they can tutor Wasteland. Covered against Dark Depths multiple ways. Yeah, I really wish I was better at lands to know how to navigate a mirror. Okay, here comes the Expedition map. We're about to see the fireworks. Wasteland guaranteed. Probably taking out my stage. And that leaves me... Oh, going after the actual Urza Saga? I think that's a huge mistake. Unless you have more. Unless you have... Okay, it didn't matter. We're just dead. Alright, I'm not beating a Loam. Yeah, they had the first Loam. That's what mattered. Everything else was parity to a head, and that was... Okay, what a disaster that was. Okay, Graveyard Hate, I like. Pithing Needle, I like. Sphere of Resistance, I am cutting completely. Got my hand on the strength of that one and died for it instantly. Force of Vigor looks like it would be relevant. Maybe I don't need Graveyard Hate like their freaking Reanimator. Maybe I cut the Macabres, leave the Surgicals. Then I still have Shadow Spear and Bog. Tabernacle does not matter in this matchup. Mazavith is fine. Shadow Spear could matter. Am I shaving a Mox Diamond again? And I think these are the 6 cards that matter. Life from Loam, Crucible of Worlds, and then in combination with Wasteland, Ghost Quarter, and Boseiju. I think that's what the matchup's actually about. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I'm understanding it right now. All of my tutor bullets seem reasonable. Maybe I don't need Ancient Tomb if I don't have my spheres in. Okay, I'll try that. Surgical, Fast Urza Saga. Yeah, I'll keep this. The Crucible is what's holding the glue together here. Saga, trigger, Shadow Spear, get in there. And Mox Diamond, discard Dark Depths. Okay, let's see if I can get over the hump. If they just snap off a Wasteland here. Surgicling Wasteland is a nice long-term plan. Ancient Tomb, Mox Diamond. Another Mox Diamond. Okay, I boarded out one of each of these cards, and they just spammed out 3 of them. Let's see if this wins them the game. Force of Vigor. Yeah, I mean, sure. Yep. Okay. Yeah, the thing they did certainly lined up well against the thing I did. And I'll argue with that. Do I just not play Mox Diamond there in case of exactly that situation? A Wasteland, take out their Saga, actually seems pretty great. I think I want to do it on their upkeep. Destroy Urza Saga. And I'm not going to extract Saga. I'd rather hit Loam. Oh my god. Okay, I'm also wasted. Wasteland is a good card to remove from their deck. Rashad and Port, go. Alright, I'm going to stop on their draw step and try to extract their Wastelands. Just not a card I'm in a position to beat at all. Got one out of the hand, sniped it. But don't worry, they have Rashad and Port. They have Valakut Exploration, a card that is not in my list at all. Yeah, they're slightly redder than me. Pyrite's Bob Bomb, I don't have that. Surgical's in, Soul Guide's in, 3 Force of Vigors, that's all the same. 1 Beseiju, Crucible. Yeah, this looks pretty familiar. They have 2 Dark Depths and 3 Urza Sagas with which to win the game. Okay. Okay, now they're going to port me, and I'm going to port them, and we're all going to just have a bad time for a while. Port's tapped. Mox Diamond. Would I rather put that into play than Yavimaya? I don't really want to turn on all their... they have 2 Mox Diamonds. What am I even saying? Get in there, Yavimaya. And no, I don't want to expose Mox Diamond to more copies of Force of Vigor, a card that has already ended the game against me once. It would be a great turn to draw that that 1 Ancient Tomb in my deck. Porting my port on my Wasteland. Interesting. Wasting their port. I think I just sit this Wasteland and play forever and make sure I don't die to Merit Lage. That's probably how this is meant to be played. If I can get this Crucible going, we're having a good time. Okay, well, glad I didn't Wasteland them. However, they can port my Wasteland. They have enough mana to do both. Oh yeah, easily. Okay, they passed into... So how does this work? They passed into my main phase. Do I have any recourse to outmuscle this now? Oh, I literally have Caracas in my graveyard. But they could just port that. I think I'm checkmated by 1 piece. Oh no, I can Mox Diamond, discard Rashadan port, play Caracas as my land for turn. Holding the Mox Diamond paid off big. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna force the action. Wasteland the Dark Depths. Okay, I'm gonna hope their last card in hand isn't a good one. Because if I force the action here, then I can put Caracas into play as my land drop, bounce the Merit Lage, and we're cooking. I could have just played Crucible, played Caracas or Wasteland from the graveyard, and just been like, okay, go ahead, good luck. But I kind of want to walk them into this a little bit. But they're suspicious. They know what's going on. They haven't just cracked it off. Okay, they are making their move. All that happens. Let's hope their last card in hand is not Graveyard Hate. I have navigated this, I think, as well as I could have. Okay, sure, whatever. Green mana in the pool. Oh. Yeah, sure. Okay. If your opponent's going to draw perfectly, you're not going to win. Is what it is. And it's even Bajuka Bog, so playing the Crucible first wouldn't have played around it. Playing Crucible first would have played around Surgical, but sure. 1 card in hand, or 2 cards at hand drawn at random since I saw their hand, and it was Depths Crop Rotation. GG. On to the next one.
The Command Tower software by Eminence Gaming is perfect for hosting TCG events. It features easy-to-create event registration for 1v1 and 4-player Swiss structured tournaments. Event management has never been so simple, and it's web-based, so there's no download required. Get access for just $5 at eminence.event/subscribe.
On the draw in the final round, positive record on the line. My opening hand has 2 copies of a legendary land that does not make mana, another legendary land that does not make mana, and a tech land that comes into play tapped and makes the wrong color. Goodbye. Awful hand. Hello, wonderful hand. I'm going to keep this one. And send Shadow Spear to the bottom. This can turn 1 Sphere if it's appropriate, or I can just get myself set up with an Exploration if that's appropriate. Island Ponder. I think I want an Exploration against this deck, not prop rotate myself into a Force of Will and just lose. That is not Ancient Tomb. I'm going to fetch my basic forest. Let's get that thing in the mix. Exploration, see if they want to fight over this. For what it's worth, I think this is a reasonable card to fight over. I just happen to have a 2-drop that's great and a 3-drop that's great. The long pause here makes me think that they do have something and they're thinking about how they want to fight this fight. I will fight this fight by putting Urza Saga into play. Scalding Tarn go. Only slightly suspicious. Good life from the Loam. I always like that card. I could Loam, then hit 2 land drops and play Sphere. I think that's better than just putting a random construct onto this board. Get Loam going, get Sphere on the stack, even if it doesn't resolve. Force of Negation pitching Supreme Verdict. Annoying. Okay. I think I'm gonna go for rotation into Ancient Tomb here and play the Sphere. Now that they've spent a force. Oh no. Am I getting spell pierced? What's going on? Counterspell? Actual factual? Oh no, I've made a huge mistake. A calculated risk. Specifically force of negation too. That's cheating. This sucks. Oh good, you have main deck back to basics too. We're having a perfectly normal time right now. Okay, tutor for... I guess it has to be Mox Diamond. Because we're not playing this, not even playing this game, much less winning this game in any other fashion. Mox Diamond, discard Ghost Quarter, a card that I would love to have in play. Okay. Sphere of Resistance on the stack. Okay, that's in there. And Prismatic Ending blows me out here. And I need to draw Ancient Tomb to really be playing the game. What a sequence. 4 in the pool. Monastery Mentor. Okay. Ancient Tomb off the top. Sphere of Resistance number 2. Alright, we're just going to die to my own Sphere. 5 mana for my opponent. Lots of basic lands in their deck. No surprise, considering they've played back to basics. A Seiju. I actually think this is better as a land than it is killing back to basics, which is freaking awful. That is a thing I believe to be true. Alright, I'm going to play Boseiju as a land. I think getting Crucible down and getting control of this game with Urza Saga is a better... I guess that doesn't even get control of the game because back to basics is still there. I don't know. I'm just so far behind. Oh, Jace the Mind Sculptor too. Cool. Imagine completely dismantling me and then also shrugging off Sphere of Resistance with Insane Threat into Insane Threat. Not bad. Good stuff. I'm still playing it out. We got, they can't Force of Will here. If I draw a mana-producing land here, get Crucible in, Crucible can start Ghost Quartering, and then I'm racing to Tabernacle. Okay. Mana-producing land, Crucible of Worlds, and they do have 1 mana up, but they can't Force of Will from here. Okay, that's fine. Crucible of Worlds, and Ghost Quarter, fill your planes. And we're going to have to race a Jace the Mind Sculptor, which is not really a thing that can be done. But I can Ghost Quarter them twice a turn while drawing other cards. Don't know what that does for me. Yeah, I need to do that while finding Tabernacle. Narset, okay. That adds a monk to the board, but doesn't really change my plan. Council's Judgment. Okay, you're never going to have double white. I'm not worried about that. Blooded Strand. Okay. Alright, looking for Tabernacle before I'm dead here. And then I have to figure out how to beat Jace. Urza Saga. Ghost Quarter. Destroyer Plains. If nothing else, I'm getting information about how many basics they actually have for games 2 and 3. And the answer seems to be a lot. I think Urza Saga is actually better here. Making even 1 single construct to block 1 single creature. Probably better than destroying an island here. Attacking for 4 this turn. A spell makes it 7. 2 spells makes me dead. Yeah, okay. Super dead. As far as studying the format goes, I think that this is the correct way to build Jeskai control. Just tons of basic lands. Narset picked up a counter spell. I barely care about Days Undoing here. They already have way more cards than me, and my hand is functionally empty. That doesn't matter. Getting Tundra. Okay, do you have another white source to cast Council's Judgment with? You have Teferi, Time Raveler. That's even worse. Okay. Alright. An absolute kicking in every possible way. Force of actual negation. Not even if that force on my Loam was of will, I think we just dredge our way into that game easily. But Yep, Force of Negation, actual counterspell in the same turn. Into on time, main deck back to basics. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Bajuka Bog, Soul Guide Lantern, get out, get out. Saw Teferi and Narset and Monastery Mentor. I can't cut Tabernacle. We had the Ghost Quarter lock, but this is an extremely threat-dense version of this deck. I don't think I want Lightning Bolts. Maybe I cut a Dark Depths. It's unreliable against white decks, and it doesn't tap for mana on its own. Got a Mox Diamond versus the deck that's going to have Meltdown. And Shadow Spear could be important to Racing Mentor. Mazevith, pretty bad against Mentor and Jace. There's still one in the deck if I need it. Yeah, I'll try this. Construction. Oh, maybe I want this Sylvan Library, even though they're a Narset deck. This seems like the place for it. Got a Wasteland? Can I? Nope. Moto already submitted it. Great. Okay, I'm gonna keep this hand. This can answer back to basics. It can mess up my opponent with Sphere, and I do have Loam to get started. Misty Rainforest, go. Okay, Mox Diamond is a great draw here. Can discard the Tabernacle and then protect my Sphere with Pyroblast. Discard Tab, Sphere. The third mana also lets me Loam next turn, even with Sphere in play, which I was worried about. But once we get this going, we should be okay. They're thinking about it. Long tank here. Deciding if they can play through this thing. I'm not going to Pyroblast the Brainstorm. I think that's bait. Prismatic Ending can answer this on curve and doesn't get Pyroblasted. I have a backup, though. They don't know that. If I win a fight here over Force of Will, I think we're laughing all the way to the bank. However, if they just let this resolve Prismatic Ending it and then untap with Force of Will up, I think we might be in trouble. We'll just have to navigate that and hope the top of the deck is generous. Brainstorm resolved. There was a long tank about it. Okay, let's see what the follow-up is. Easy Prismatic Ending. Or pass the turn and let me do stuff. Okay, seems like pass the turn and let me do stuff is the answer. Exploration. Wow, that's a good card. I wonder if I'm supposed to shove another Sphere here and just bet that I have more lands than them. So if I get Forest now, I could Life from the Loam, hit my land drop. I think that's how I want to play this turn. Because if I get this Loam going into the Exploration, that becomes pretty powerful. Maybe I'm just supposed to squeeze them and be like, yeah, good luck. All your spells cost more. The counterspell doesn't work here. Brainstorm does. And then they can't follow up with anything. Can't surgical, can't force. Sphere of Resistance, too busted. And they did not fetch white, which means they're either hiding it from me or just don't have it. Hopefully that investment turn pays off. I could see an argument to just shoving Sphere. If I had another mana-producing land in my hand, I would have just shoved Sphere and got Loam going the turn after. They have cast two really awkward Brainstorms here, and one of them costs 2 mana. Surgicaling my Loam. Okay. Annoying, but fair. There are still Crucibles in the deck. Oh, are they missing a land drop here? Oh, please deck mana-producing land off the top. Not quite. But it's better than Tabernacle. At least for now it is. Okay, Sphere of Resistance, get in there. They can force this, unfortunately, and I don't think I want to wait a turn to try to back it up with Pyroblast. Maybe I'm supposed to. Maybe I'm just playing too aggressively, and by waiting a turn, they just missed a land drop. I know they're Brainstorm locked. I think I just messed that up. Force pitching Narset. Okay. Yeah, that sucked. Yeah, them missing a land drop last turn, I should have read that they were gassed up with spells and stuck under Sphere. If I resolve Sphere, we're doing great. Found another land that does not shuffle. I guess I'll cast this Exploration. And we are investing in a future where maybe I have Crucible of Worlds. Crop rotation. Okay, that can become Urza Saga. I should not have played Exploration because now I can't crop rotate because I need to protect it with Pyroblast. Okay, now I can do that. Cool. Green, colorless, crop rotation, chuck the Wasteland, get Urza Saga, just get to work here. And now I can Pyroblast if I care, which I currently don't. Yeah, the Snapcaster is not going to go very far in this game. They know I have Pyroblast up to beat a Dress Down. There's Crucible. I'm not going to play it now, though. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm going to stubbornly hold on to this Crucible until I can protect it with Pyroblast, because this is the nuts for me right now. Uh-oh. Suddenly access to red mana from my opponent. They can Meltdown for 2 with what they have. They get back to basics with what they have. I don't think that's important, though. Okay, no attack. Do have a fetch. This can't get basic planes, so they have to get Tundra if they want white mana, which they do. Taking out my Sphere. Okay. That turns on Crucible, ironically. Okay, end step. Make a construct. And Expedition map. Okay, I drew a card that I would have tutored for. Do I think their hand has multiple pieces of interaction? What's the rush? I'm gonna just be patient on this Crucible. Pithing Needle can name Flooded Strand. They still have all 4 of those in their deck. That seems so greedy, though. They just get Shadow Spear, bash them down. Needle on Teferi, Needle on Narset. I think I like Needle on Teferi. No, I'm just going to get Shadow Spear. None of this is quite what I had in mind, but I think it's fine. Expedition map. Just keep shoving into Meltdown. They missed a bunch of land drops that didn't fetch red. I don't think they have Meltdown. And I'm just going to try to get over the finish line before it's too late. Counter spell. Yep. Not going to Pyroblast that. Doesn't even matter. I don't think I even counterspell it back to basics. The fairy is annoying, but what does this do? Bounce a... Well, it sits in play and turns off my Pyroblast, so might as well Pyroblast it. The only reason I wouldn't is because I would save my Pyroblast to fight over Crucible, but that doesn't even work. Okay, forcing back, pitching Jace. This is probably great for me. They bounce one of these constructs, and then I stick Crucible and just go nuts. 1 card left in their hand. I hope it's not a second copy of Counterspell. My word. An annoying thing that would be. Okay. I think I just jam Crucible here. They would have to have actual Counterspell for me to be punished. Alright, maybe don't do that. We're in there. Wasteland, Misty, Rainforest, Urza Saga. Wasteland, Misty, Saga. And I did it in that order because that doesn't pass priority at all. And then, no, I want Wasteland. Equip Shadow Spear. I want to make sure Teferi's gone. If they have a removal spell, this doesn't matter at all. And if they don't, then this clears Teferi for sure. Teferi is in the graveyard. No, Wasteland this Tundra. Get it out. And go. Investment and patience finally paying off. We resolved the Crucible with double exploration in play. Nice. Alright, 1 game remains to rule them all and determine the positive record or not for this league. Sylvan Library should have been in the whole time. Is there anything left in my lands? Any tech land that's not good here? I don't like Tabernacle. I just think it's necessary knowing that they have Monastery Mentor in their deck. I would probably cut it otherwise. Ancient Tomb's great on the draw. Seju's important. I've seen Surgical. I could hedge a little and shave 1 Loam, assuming that they're going to get countered or removed anyway. It makes it slightly harder to find the first one, but the second one wouldn't exist anyway. I think that makes as much sense as it's going to. This hand does not interact really at all. It does accelerate a Saga. I mean, I have Beseiju for stuff. I am going to keep this. And this is where a lands expert would know better than me. And I have Saga, and I can accelerate it, and I can Beseiju to interact with a Back to Basics or Blood Moon. And that sounds pretty good, but like lands and like plan versus Malda Sphere of Resistance, which I drew anyway. All right, I'll just cast my Sphere of Resistance that I drew anyway. Play to your upside. Force of Negation, pitching Supreme Verdict. Okay. Game to Turok resolves, and they force a negation something that wasn't Loam. Count it. Basic Plains. Exploration. Cool. Okay, so if I Taiga Exploration, and then Urza Saga, I can still Beseiju a Back to Basics if they just shove it here. I think I'm going to hide the Mox Diamond. Yeah. Blue, white, available. Plains, Island, End-Step Brainstorm. This End-Step Brainstorm, after fetching, I think they have Back to Basics and they're looking for land number 3, or vice versa. Oh, Narset, sure. All right, that's not the one I was worried about. And you played a wastable land. I'm going to get you there. Ponder. Yeah, I think they were about to miss their 3rd land drop, because this Narset is something they're incentivized to make sure it gets in, and they would not have played Volcanic Island if they could avoid it. And guess what? I do have Wasteland. And I'm going to play Verdant Catacombs. I'm just going to hold back on this Mox Diamond basically forever. It would make my construct 1 point bigger, but that'll be true next turn as well. And just running it out into various hate spells doesn't seem like the way. Ponder in their hand. Narset activation on the stack. Surgical Extraction. All that can hit right now is Wasteland. Next turn it'll be able to hit Saga. That's a real one. There's the Ponder. Another Plains. Okay. So they're stuck on blue now. I'm going to fetch basic Forest and just lock in my Beseiju profits. I don't mind tapping out of representing Pyroblast here because it doesn't matter. And let's see if I can get a Saga in before they extract the ones that already exist. This time I will use Ancient Tomb. Okay, I can tutor immediately for Expedition Map and then activate it. And let's see if they Surgical Saga in response, because if they don't, I can just get it and play it, and they don't have an opportunity to strip them. This is 1 less damage on my attack, but I think it's worth playing around. Kind of dare them now or never on Surgical. Okay, they are taking the Sagas. I will have to search for something different. That's another piece of Graveyard Hate used on something that's not Loam. So now what do I get? Probably just Thespian Stage. Or I could get Ghost Quarter in the mix, but they're already... I know their deck is full of lands. Yeah, I'm going to get Stage. And I'll play Stage. Do I want to put this Mox Diamond into play? It does not matter in this moment. I'm going to attack Narset. Still holding up Beseiju. Opponent is struggling for lands. They pitched a Supreme Verdict already. Okay, they found land number 4. Cantrips are working for them. Crucible of Worlds. Okay. Kind of wished I had tutored Wasteland if I knew I was going to draw that. Or tutored Ghost Quarter. And I think I just put this thing on the stack, though. Or maybe I don't. Maybe I just attack. No, I'm going to put this on the stack. Good chance it gets countered. But still, if it does resolve, my constructs get bigger. It makes the clock faster. Opponent is treading water, trying to stay alive in this game. If I keep testing... Oh, wow. That just happened. I'm going to grab a Wasteland rather than a fetch land. I think I have enough green mana, and I would just like the ability to punish if they falter. Press down, fine. Yep, that works. A legal play. I don't have to like it. Now what I do have to do is find Ghost Quarter, and then we win. Scalding Tarn, okay. The lands just keep coming over there. The Fairy, super annoying. It's going to bounce Crucible, and they get another shot to counter it. Stage is going to copy Forest in the end step. I have another forest now, 2 basics in the mix. Shadow Spear, okay. Crucible of Worlds back on the stack. They didn't counter it last turn. They didn't counter it this turn. I'm actually out of fetch land or fetchables here. I'm gonna waste their Scalding Tarn. I have another land drop to make, and let's at least force some action here. Basic Mountain, okay. Wasteland back in. My Kingdom for a Ghost Quarter. Now they get to untap with Teferi and do whatever they're gonna do. I kind of feel this one slipping away, despite how cool the early turns were. It's just, can I draw a Ghost Quarter or not? Thespian Stage, still not a Ghost Quarter. Play a land from my graveyard. I do have Yavimaya in the deck. Thespian Stage can be another forest. Maybe get a mountain if I think that's important. Maybe it is. Yeah, I'm going to copy their mountain. I do have Pyroblast in the deck, and Pyroblast is an answer to Back to Basics. Probably should have charged that Blast Zone. Fear of Resistance, get in. Yeah, Blast Zone should have gone up to 3 there. That answers Mentor and any future Teferi nonsense. That also kills my Crucible, though. Maybe I don't want to do that. Something's happening. 5 mana spell. Meltdown for 3 in the end step. Okay. Well, no wonder my Sphere resolved so easily. It was covered. A Blast Zone, put 2 counters on it. This also kills Back to Basics. Yeah, Maya. Okay. I've been playing to this moment, playing out extra lands. Okay. I am passing the turn. I guess I should blow Blast Zone before Teferi draws another card. Yeah, with 5 cards in their hand, kind of sucks to drop that like that, because now if they shove Mentor, they're good to go. But Teferi was about to draw a card for free, and I just don't want them to do that. Okay, Loam's good. Crop Rotation's good. Crucible's good. Wrenn and Realmbreaker, that's probably good. I think I want to hold on to Wrenn, though, because I do have 2 Pyroblasts in my deck, and I have other things that could be scary enough to counter, and my opponent's got 5 cards in their hand, and they've missed a land drop along the way. We're pretty sure they're all spells. They brainstormed twice in the last turn cycle. Narset, disappointing. You whiffed. We'll take it. I'm not too proud. Schadenport, okay. That one can actually cause trouble here, and I'm gonna turn... I think I turn all of my stages into these. Tap the mountain. Narset activation. Again. Opponent has drifted under 5 minutes on their clock, and we're about to settle into a triple Schadenport game. I've had Beseiju for that for the entire game. I don't care. Resolves. And then in the end step, Beseiju this thing. Does get them a land, but I have Wasteland if they're out of basics. I think they have at least one more that I've seen. Yep, okay. Thespian Stage becomes Schadenport. And then Thespian Stage becomes Schadenport. Not bad. The Tabernacle, and I'll play it. The clock is my win con at this point. And Tabernacle is miserable because those are your triggers, even though I'm creating them. Tap your mountain. Tap your plains. And tap your plains. They have a second Back to Basics. That would be kind of annoying. Looks like they're just passing, though. Oh, second main land. Narset. We're about to learn how many Back to Basics they play. All my Pyroblast and Forces are still in the deck. Jace is miserable. I can Wasteland their Flooded Strand. They did have to tap that to do stuff. Nice, good hit. Wasteland the Flooded Strand. And do I want to use this opportunity to push it in Wrenn? Probably. So green, green, green. I am not going to fight over Wrenn. I'm just trying to flush out counter spells. All right, Force of Negation, pitching Ponder. That's fine. And now I'm going to beat up their mana and counter Jace. Tap your mountain. Tap your plains. Tap your plains. Okay, let's hope they don't have another piece of interaction to win the fight over Jace. Counter target spell if it's blue. This is what I could do this turn, F6. Oh, they did have force. That makes sense why they didn't Narset first to dig. Okay, now I have 3 minutes to not lose this game, even though I am probably losing this game. Narset activation. Ponder. Sylvan Library, LOL. Good stuff. Funny. You're very funny. Continue my tapping their land strategy. And I will not be conceding this game. They are going to have to beat me. Second back to basics, tilt. Alright, well, that makes it a lot harder. They're still going to have to beat me. Wasteland doesn't matter. So I probably should have played Mox Diamond instead, but alright, whatever. Pass the turn. I will not be engaging such shifty tactics as spamming Shadow Spear activations to eat up their clock, but I am going to make them actually exile my deck and defeat me. Another Wasteland, okay. I'm going to Wasteland on their turn. I think 2 minutes is plenty of time to get where they need to go here. I'm going to stop playing cards, though, because every card I play is a card they don't have to make me draw through again after they exile my deck with Jace. Dark Depths, not helpful. Yeah, I'm just going to pass here and see if I can hang on for another 100 seconds. It is, of course, not pretty to do it like this, but my opponent spent a lot of time thinking in the game, and that is coming back to bite them. And if they just start F6ing, they're going to win. Yeah, they don't need to activate Jace. They don't need to do anything. It does not take 60 seconds to just pass through 5 draw steps. Countering my crop rotation. Just show me what's what. Okay, we don't need to keep doing this. They did it. Yeah, the fact that they weren't brainstorming with Jace, weren't plussing me anymore, they just knew to click through. 60 seconds, plenty of time. Okay, this league started out really strong, then had a tough back half. We queued into a bunch of people who were ready for us. I mean, main deck back to basics, tons of basic lands. Like I've made clear throughout the league, I'm not a lands expert. I'm sure my sideboarding was less than perfect. I'm sure my mulligans were less than perfect. But we were keeping hands that had plans, and in these non-blue decks, you frequently have to just keep a hand with good structure and hope that your deck provides one way to leverage that structure, rather than mulling to a 4-card hand that already has Loam in it. Like keeping a 7 that does stuff, and then it'll hopefully find a Loam or Crucible on the way. And at least one game we just didn't, in half our deck, find a 7-outer. Other times the opponents were ready for it and they used their removal appropriately. I will say the Sphere plan seems awesome until you're in those sideboard games where if you can't leverage your Sphere, it's just another thing that dies to Meltdown. And while that is a really powerful thing to do in the early turns, it seems like it's a pretty bad top deck and gets a lot of splash damage from stuff people are going to bring anyway. Maybe I'm supposed to be boarding them out against Meltdown matchups. That seems... But the Meltdown matchups frequently are decks that function on 1 mana efficiency, and collapsing that could ruin their whole day. Yeah, I don't actually know. Lands experts in the comments weigh in on that. I wish I could debrief further, but frankly, my brain is mush, and I made the decisions I thought were correct at the time with my limited knowledge on this archetype, and a better lands pilot probably gets a 3-2 or 4-1 out of this, and that's all I got for it. I'm glad I was able to play it, though. I like to remind myself once in a while that I do not have the capacity or reps to play lands at a high level. Though obviously this deck is powerful. We were doing very cool things. I was winning games, and this is a deck to respect. Lauren, thank you for sharing it with us. Everybody else, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon. I'll see you next time.